Welcome to the Royal Daily Tea YouTube channel. Please be advised all of my videos are for entertainment purposes only, based 100% on my own opinion, my own theories, and my own research. All of my information can be found on the public domain and falls under the fair use guidelines. Please feel free to do your own research. Good afternoon and welcome back to the Royal Daily Tea. I've missed you guys. It's been a few days. I just started a brand new job, and so I've been extremely busy and haven't been able to film the Royal Tea. But today we're going to film the Royal Recap episode 4, and we have a lot of royal tea to spill. So Omid Scobie re-released his Finding Freedom book on August 31st that has some new excerpts in it in regards to Megxit and leaving the palace. So Omid Scobie is desperately trying to hold on and stay relevant and in the good graces of the Sussexes. So as you know, he has recently been markled from Meghan, but apparently he did not get the memo. So now he has come out with his own Me Too moment, claiming that a senior royal staffer was racist toward him. This is ridiculous. First of all, royal staffers work one-on-one and very closely with the royal family. They work with a large group of diverse people from diverse cultures and backgrounds, not to mention it is a very diverse staff who work with the royal family. I have a very hard time believing that a senior royal staffer would say to a journalist, "Oh my, I can't believe you're so well spoken for a person who's not white or not British," or whatever it is they said. I really have a hard time believing somebody in 2021 who works at that level with the palace would say that to a journalist, especially Omid Scobie, who wrote a book on the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. I'm sorry, I'm calling it bullcrap. That is 100% what it is. Of course, he has no names and no proof for these allegations. It is called, "I'm desperate, I'm trying to stay relevant, and I need to sell these books." Because let's be honest, Finding Freedom, the first edition, didn't do very well. But now they're trying to put a whole bunch of salaciousness in the book and get on the coattails of the Sussexes with a lot of buzzwords like racism from the palace. He is trying to, get on Meghan's good side, get back with Meghan and be the king of the sugars. But Meghan doesn't need him anymore. She's markled him. Now these Sussexes are actually separating and distancing themselves. They are claiming that Omid Scobie's unnamed sources does not come from them nor anyone in their inner circle. It's really funny, though, that the first book the Sussexes had zero problem with, didn't threaten any lawsuits, but somehow Omid Scobie had a lot of insider information. But it's funny how now all of a sudden those quote-unquote unnamed sources are not valid. I don't know if I believe that either, as we know it was proven during her lawsuit that Meghan Markle did participate and collaborate with the authors of Finding Freedom, which they lied about but had to come out and tell the truth when it was discovered that they lied. I know that's extremely shocking that the Sussexes were busted lying once again. So on top of that, it is also stated in the new Finding Freedom that Oprah Winfrey was extremely shocked at how open the Sussexes were during their interview. She was extremely shocked that they let all those bombshells out. You know, when she did the infamous, "What? What?" You know, that whole thing where she faked being surprised. Yeah, but apparently she was surprised. She didn't expect the Sussexes to drop the racism card, which they did. Now, a lot of people don't realize that when the Sussexes left for Megxit, it was for a 12-month review for them to decide at the end of the 12 months if they wanted to, in fact, leave the royal family or if they wanted to come back. So the Queen was very gracious and gave them an entire year to think about what they wanted to do. However, once they left the royal family and started making all of those woke speeches and all of those fake paparazzi charity runs, I believe Her Majesty decided for them and decided, you know what? We don't need you. We're good. Good luck to you in Hollywood. So when the review was over, Harry and Meghan asked Her Majesty for an extension on Megxit for 6 months. They wanted to have another 6 months to make a decision. But what people don't realize is Her Majesty made it for them. She told them, no, there will be no extension. You're either in or you're out. But Harry and Meghan, being as conceited as they are, feeling they were the most popular and important royals, and that the royal family was going to bend over backwards to keep them, and that they were going to tell Her Majesty what they were going to do and what they were not going to do. They were stunned when Her Majesty the Queen said, no, we're good. You can stay in Montecito. We don't need you back. And they also stripped him of all of his military patronages. They removed all of the money that he would have received as a senior working royal, except for the $5 million his father gave him, and the royal security. So when Harry found that out, that was around the time he was due to sit down for the Oprah Winfrey interview. If you watch the interview, you can see the anger and the bitterness in Harry. He's pissed. Okay, his father wasn't taking his phone calls. They were cutting him off. They were telling him, we don't want you back. You and Meghan, you're on your own. You've made a mess of things. Yeah, Harry and Meghan were bitter. And when they sat down for that Oprah Winfrey interview, at that point, there was no going back. The door had been closed by Her Majesty the Queen. They were still her family, that they were not going to be part of the senior working royals. She let it known, you're out. Because Her Majesty said, you're in or you're out. It is not halfway. But the Sussexes really thought they were going to tell the Queen how it was going to be. So when they found out that Her Majesty had shut the door on them, they were pissed. This was right before they got Netflix and Spotify. They were still working on it behind the scenes, but I don't believe it was announced at that time. So when they sat down for Oprah Winfrey, that was a revenge interview. That interview was not about Harry and Meghan's truth. It was about Harry and Meghan getting back at the royal family for cutting them off and not giving way for what Harry and Meghan wanted. It was a royal fit. Pure and simple. Okay? Pure and simple. So I don't care what Omid Scobie says, or he's trying to be relevant, claiming that the senior staffers were racist and that poor Megxie and Harry, they're striving outside of the royal family, that they have no regrets leaving the royal family, and that they're glad to be away from that toxic family. That is complete crap because they were trying to extend Megxit. They want to be a part of the royal family, but only on their terms, because they know they can only monetize themselves with their titles. And the queen said no. The other big story of the week is that Piers Morgan has come out ahead of Meghan Markle when a big company in Britain called Watchdog Ofcom ruled that Morgan did not breach the broadcasting code when he called Meghan Markle a liar during a March episode of Good Morning Britain. During the fiery on-air rant, Morgan addressed Markle's interview with Oprah Winfrey and dismissed the Duchess's claim that she struggled with suicidal thoughts. He said, "I don't believe a word she says. I wouldn't believe a weather report if she read it." So a lot of people are very happy with this ruling because it's about freedom of speech. Whether you agree or don't agree, whether you like someone or don't like someone, you should be able to voice your opinion on national television. Now, it may have been in bad taste to say he did not agree or believe that Meghan was suicidal. And to be honest with you, I don't believe she was suicidal either. I believe that was a lie. Meghan loves herself too much to hurt herself. I believe she was using the quote-unquote suicidal to manipulate Harry. That is a classic manipulation that she was using on poor Harry. I believe someone quoted her as saying, she was pregnant at the time, okay? And she said she was suicidal and couldn't get mental health help, which we all know was ridiculous because she's had more resources for mental health than anyone I know, including Harry himself. A lot of people believe she was stating something around, well, I couldn't do that to Harry because, he lost his mother. So if I killed myself, it would be devastating to him. Like, what a manipulator. Oh my God. So this woman is just a whole nother level. You know what I'm saying? A whole nother level. I don't believe she tried to kill herself because Meghan loves herself way too much. When you're a narcissist like that, you love yourself way too much. I don't care if she had a bad day, a bad week, a bad month. That woman is never going to kill herself. I'm sorry to tell you, but people like that, they love themselves over anyone else. That woman would never harm herself, period. I'm sorry. I don't believe her. Other people I would, but not this one. And the lie about not being able to get mental health and being denied when literally Harry, William, and Kate are the heads of multiple mental health charities. When Harry goes and talks about mental health journey, how Harry himself has gotten counseling, how Doria works in mental health, you're going to tell me that a pregnant duchess who says, "I might kill myself," is not going to get help from anyone? Really? No, that's a lie. That whole thing was a manipulation she was using to get something over on Harry. The woman is not dumb. She knows how to manipulate people, especially Harry, because we all know he's kind of a nimwit. I'm sorry, but there's no lights on upstairs. You look at the guy and he's like, he doesn't know what's going on. Because again, when you're rich and famous and you've had people do things for your whole life, you don't need to be smart. You got people to do everything for you. You're not going to be using your noggin. That's an unused muscle. Harry doesn't have a very big brain. Let's be honest. Moving on to our other story. So as you know, Harry was the surprise end of the night guest who gave away this huge humanitarian award, the GQ Man of the Year award, to a group of female doctors, which made no sense, who were heroes in the war against COVID-19 and worked with a big company for the vaccine. But he used this opportunity to give another woke salad speech and a lecture, because he just can't help himself. He can't just give an award and say, "Congratulations, you did a good job." Instead, he has to put a lecture against people who aren't vaccinated. Now, where you fall in the terms of being vaccinated, of not being vaccinated, that is your personal choice. It is not for an unemployed ex-prince to lecture and tell the masses what his opinion is about people who are spreading quote-unquote misinformation about the vaccine. This vaccine has not been out for a very long time, and there are a lot of people who are scared to take it. Maybe they want to take some time to do a little bit more research, maybe wait for medical trials, maybe it's against their religion, whatever it is not for him to judge. Period. So when he went on the GQ stage in his wearing a tuxedo on a Zoom call, phoning in because he's the Prince of Profit himself, given the speech, it's like it was so tone deaf. You're not a medical doctor. We don't need to hear your opinion on vaccination. If you want to help, go do some charity. But giving another woke salad speech in a tuxedo from your house in your Montecito mansion, it's ridiculous. Meanwhile, his brother, who is a real hero and doing real things, has gotten a lot of positive press for helping one of his former classmates and their family escape the Taliban. Prince William is being called a hero. He personally helped one of his friends and his family escape the Afghanistan Taliban. He worked behind the scenes to make sure that one of his friends and his family were evacuated, and I think that's a great job. He helped them get to the Kabul airport and board a flight to the UK. He made a lot of phone calls, and he worked with Naval Officer Rob Dixon to make some calls to the relevant personnel to help the family get through the gate at Kabul airport. So apparently this person was a former Afghan officer who he met at Sandhurst. And as the Taliban was coming in and taking over, the Duke of Cambridge stepped in and personally helped his friend and his family escape. It's way more than Harry and Meghan have done, spelling out how people need to step up, people need to do something, people need to give money. Again, these Sussexes like to tell people how to feel, how to think, what to do, where to send your money, while they do nothing. They are the Duke and Duchess of Do Nothing. That is their new title. They just tell people and give speeches, but they are the Duke and Duchess of Do Nothing. So while they're sitting there in their mansion giving speeches, telling people what to do, how to feel, how to act, so you have a real prince and you have a prince for profit. He's kind of what you call the Wish version of a prince. You ordered Prince William and you get Prince Harry. He is turned into such a royal joke. And so many people have gotten to the point, I've gotten to the point where I don't even like to look at his face anymore. So you have William, who actually did something and saved a family. And then you have Prince Harry Zoom calling in a tuxedo from his Montecito mansion, taking a dig at people for not getting vaccinated, giving a woke speech with 200 plus words and the words "we" in it 15 times, lecturing people, telling people how to think, telling people how to feel, and telling people they need to send their money to these places. But he didn't say what he was going to do or where he was going to donate his money. Instead, they just wrote a speech and that was it. But William actually saved his friend and his family personally. And the final story that we have, of course, is that the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge might be moving to Windsor Castle to be closer to Her Majesty the Queen. A lot of people are speculating that as she is getting older and time is getting closer to the Platinum Jubilee, many of the royals are starting to circle around Her Majesty, and being closer to Windsor would make more sense. So the Cambridges could very well be leaving Anmar Hall and moving to Windsor. So I will keep you updated on that information. Let me know if you enjoyed this video. Leave your comments down below. As always, I appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you so much for stopping by my channel. I am working on the website and I will launch it next week. I'm just putting the finishing touches and adding a couple more blogs, but I am going to release the royaldailytea.com next week. So I hope you guys will enjoy it and stay tuned for that. As always, please make sure you like, share, and subscribe because it really helps the channel. I really appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you and have an awesome day.